on Pennsylvania Avenue. So will the new man in the job, John Kelly, be able to stop the leaks? My next guest wrote the book about that role. Chris Whipple is the author of The Gatekeepers, How the White House Chiefs of Staff Define Every Presidency. He's joining me now live from New York. Chris, we appreciate your time. I first wanted to get your reaction, absolutely, your reaction to these leaked transcripts that the Washington Post got a hold of. I mean, it's very detailed, regarding these conversations with the Australian Prime Minister and the Mexican President. What does it say about the morale in the White House?
Well, you know, it's part of the continuing soap opera that's just, quite frankly, beyond belief. I mean, this is the most dysfunctional White House in modern history. It's completely broken, and this is just another example. But I would just remind people that the problem is not what Donald Trump says in private. The problem is what Donald Trump says in public. We all know what he does. He lies flagrantly and unabashedly. He doesn't just lie until he's caught. He continues to lie when he's caught. Now that, above all, is going to be the biggest challenge for John Kelly. You know, when Jerry Ford was at the lowest point of his presidency back in the 70s, in free fall after pardoning Richard Nixon, with the White House in disarray, Donald Rumsfeld came in as his White House chief of staff, empowered like General Kelly. And Rumsfeld said it was like climbing into the cockpit of a disabled plane that was going straight toward the ground, and he didn't even know the crew.
Wow.
Now, I would say that Kelly's job is exponentially more difficult than Don Rumsfeld's task with Jerry Ford.
What you say is really interesting. I have to ask you what you think, though, about, I guess, how the dynamics might play out between this retired Marine general who likes organization, who is, by the book kind of guy, versus the president, obviously a much more different personality. He doesn't like to be told what to do. Will they get on?
Well, look, some of the early signs are good. I mean, throwing Scaramucci over the White House fence was the first, prerequisite. Now comes the hard part. Kelly has to fix a broken White House. It looks as though he has been empowered as the gatekeeper. The White House, the Oval Office door has been closed more often. It looks as though, people are reporting through him. All of that's a good sign. But at the end of the day, he has to be the person who not only executes the president's agenda, which is completely stalled, they can't do anything right up to now, but he has to be the person who can walk into the Oval Office and tell the president hard truths. Now, maybe he is more of a peer, I think he is, more of a peer, if Donald Trump has any peers in his own mind, than Reince Priebus was. Priebus was, alas, a sycophant who couldn't tell the president hard truths. But this is, almost, the problem is he's got to bring focus and discipline to the White House. That's the most important thing. And this is a guy, Donald Trump, for whom focus and discipline are anathema.
Yeah, and we know that the president does really like generals, if you just look at his cabinet, and definitely respects them. So we'll see how their relationship develops.